republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry about that. Good evening. Today is November 5th, 2020. This is the Environmental Conservation Board. We have an agenda that we're going to follow. And the first item is eligible for a permit. The applicant is White Sail Condominiums, CO Lionsgate Property Management. Could you please state your name and who you're here who you're here to represent?
Paul Revens, engineer for White Sail.
Okay. So there were no comments or questions from the public. Have any of the plans changed as submitted previously?
No.
Okay, and there was one condition on the permit, and that would be town wetland inspector to do a pre and post site visit for installation of erosion control. All right?
Yes, that's in the sequence of construction there.
Okay, so with that, what's the matter? Does it work? Hit the top button. Okay. So with that, do I have a motion to grant permit number 963 to White Sail Condominium, CO Lionsgate Property Management, 4 Marina Drive, to replace existing retaining wall as submitted? Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so see Rose Monday. You can come get your permit.
Okay, thank you.
And it was all,
We gotta do a ECB, yeah.
everything was fine with that, with him going on the Swan Cove,
Yep, we have
property,
a letter in the file. Okay, will the proposed action result create additional material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change of use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character and quality of the existing community? No.
No.
Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a CEA?
No.
Will the proposed action result in adverse change of existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonable, available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water or public-private wastewater treatment facilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in the adverse change to natural resources, example, wetlands, fauna, flora? No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Nope.
No.
And will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No.
No.
Okay. Well, he was out of here fast, huh? Okay, that's the first one approved. Okay, next item is Mayapack Point Owners Association, Tamarack Road and Sycamore Road to repair a drainage system. Could you please state your name and who you're here to represent?
Yep, my name is Zach Pearson from Insight Engineering, Surveying and Landscape Architecture. I'm here on behalf of Mayapack Point Homeowners Association for a letter of permission. Just to remind the board, we've been before you, I think, in 2018 and 2019 for letters of permission on discharges from different drainage systems. We're coming back for another one of the systems at the point. This one happens to be at the intersection of Sycamore and Tamarack, kind of at the tip of the point.
Right.
There are There are two lake drains on the paper residence. One of them is proposed to be just basically abandoned in place. It goes underneath the corner of his garage. There's no way to replace that one.
That'll be shown as number 3.
Well, yeah, there's a number 3 there, but yeah, it goes under the west side of the paper residence, under the garage there. So that dashed line.
It's a dotted line.
Yep.
And it goes under the guy's garage.
Yeah, that one's to be abandoned in place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna install a couple drains, and again, very similar to past projects, install drains in key locations to keep water in the road, keep it from washing down people's driveways, washing through people's yards directly to the lake. We've incorporated past comments from the board, specifically having to do with the construction sequence, having to do with the, which includes the replacement of silt fence, had the turbidity curtain at the outfall to the lake, had specifics regarding the placement of machines and materials. Additionally, the terminal drainage structure installed in the road system does have a deep sump on it and does have a hood on it to protect the floatable. So we've incorporated past comments that this board has had with other letters of permission issued, and kind of just rolled them into this repair in this location.
So where is the existing 12-inch pipe that's in between the properties? Or actually, it looks like it just crosses.
Right here, it's
the
existing
property.
12-inch
Right.
ATP pipe.
No, I'm not where is that, but where, that currently, is that crushed up? Just, like, I remember last time.
Yeah,
it
so
was-
we had, going back 5 years ago, we had videoed a lot of these pipes. A lot of them are either crushed, they're corrugated metal pipe, and the bottoms are rotted out, there's nothing left to them. And the same thing goes with the structures. A lot of the structures out here are homemade stone or brick structures that are falling apart. They become a hazard to even drive near them. So, precast concrete structures, standard size frames and grates. But yeah, this one's a little, we're combining two little areas into the one pipe just due to, there's an existing 8-inch pipe. We're not even sure if the water makes it through that pipe that goes under the garage there. So, we're gonna bring
Under
it to.
the garage, you said?
Yeah, so if you look at the paper residence, if you look at the west side of the paper residence, there's an 8-inch pipe there that it goes right through the building.
Yes,
That pipe is there, and we're proposing to abandon that in place. That structure
understood.
in that pipe it's undetermined if water even makes it out. So, it's just we're bringing it all to the structure, which is in the driveway of the paper residence, and then there's the main line that goes
So
out.
the 15-inch.
Yep, there's an existing pipe there now.
The new one that you're taking out, putting in.
Yep, that's in
You're
the,
not doing it by hand.
no, they dig it with a machine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I need to see a fueling plan.
We have notes on the drawing that have to do with, no fueling or maintenance or construction equipment will be conducted within 100 feet buffer of the lake. All vehicle fueling take place
But
in
you
depth.
have to show where you're gonna leave the equipment at night.
It all stays on the road. They keep it up on the road.
Okay.
Nothing, we've done 3 of these already. Every time they store everything on the road.
So even if you're digging that 15-inch, he doesn't get that done for the day.
Everything's
That
back,
machine goes back to the road.
everything on the road. We're working through private properties too, so it's, we're coming back to the common road, which is the point property, so everything is stored on the road. No material equipment, no machine equipment is stored on private property. It all comes back out to the road. They cone it off, and then the next morning they start up and pick up where they left off.
How much equipment are you talking about?
It's not a lot. The contractor's done the other jobs with a small excavator and a skid steer, really. Skid steer will bring in the crushed stone for the pipe. They can carry the pipe down with 2 laborers, drop it in, backfill it. The pace at which the contractors worked on the past jobs, it goes very, very quickly.
Yeah, you could throw 100 feet in.
Right,
most of the time.
exactly. You're talking a day, they're through there
When
in
you
a day.
gotta tie into the sewers, that's what takes some time.
Right, it's working up in the road and kind of, setting the structures along the edge of the road,
Like
working.
that 15-inch pipe should take you, if it takes you a day, it's a long day.
Right, yep.
So I'm trying to recall back, I know you've been before us before, have we expressed any concerns about taking dumping this much water through a pipe, surface water coming off of a road, dumping that directly into the lake? I'm sure we must have said this before, and I can't remember what, and I'm trying to look back at my.
Right.
Well,
so-
what we're doing is we're replacing concrete.
Right, this is a
It's already there, it's just a maintenance agreement, because
yep.
there's an existing 8-inch pipe here that's already dumping down supposedly. They're replacing a 12-inch pipe with a 15-inch pipe.
Yeah.
So you're just increasing the surface
And all
circumference
the
of the
rest of this
pipe.
pipe already exists, and all these catch basins already exist?
No, so working back along Sycamore, there's a couple that were added, pushing back to the south along Sycamore. And again, that's to catch the water on the road before it turns down people's driveway and ends up finding its way to the lake anyway, right? So we're kind of getting it into, it's all going into the lake, but, we're getting it into a collection system that utilizes an existing lake drain to get out.
So, I understood on that. I don't recall, did you do the same thing on the other,
Yes.
Yes.
meaning
We
you
did.
added new pipe?
We
and
did
new-
add new pipe and
Okay.
new structures. I mean, it was not extensive. I mean, we pushed a little bit in directions from where, basically so this is, it's called System 6 and System 7. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so far.
Sure.
So we like to replace them in the spots that they are because it's, there's a drainage pattern and usually they were put there for a reason. It just so happens over time, when you walk around, you're like, oh, well, there really should probably be one before Mrs. Jones's driveway, because if you look at what has happened over time, it is wearing a path. The
Right.
water's going right there. Let's capture it before it makes a mess and get it into the pipe and out.
So where is there, I'm trying to understand on the map here, where is existing pipe that you're going to be reusing or putting pipe in the same place?
So from
What's new versus what's not?
the lake drain from the paper driveway out, that's new pipe over top of existing.
That's fine.
The 15-inch pipe that crosses the road back to DI6, that's existing pipe that's going to be replaced.
Got it, okay.
Okay, so, and then if you go from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, that's new pipe because we're getting the water from there that went under the corner of his driveway, underneath the corner of his house. That lake drain's being eliminated, so we needed those two sections of pipe to make it to DI6. And then you can see that there's a crosshatch there on the road
Yes.
as you make your way up Tamarack. That's existing pipe and existing structures that are being removed, and we extended the pipe up just beyond the driveway. So 7B and 7C were extended to pick up water coming down that very steep slope of the road. Right as it starts to flatten out, we drop two structures to be able to collect it and get it into the pipe. We're working back on Sycamore. There's an existing drain just back from DI6. And then those 3 drains back there are installed. Again, that's a low, flat area. That what happens is that piece of that road kind of ponds there. It creates a little bit of a situation in the wintertime.
Yeah,
So
Sycamore is the only one that you put in a proposed 12-inch pipe.
Right.
You're just tying into.
Correct.
the
We're extending that, we're
EXT1.
pushing that pipe. So if you look at like the Rosenthal residence, which is all the way to the south, you can see like there's a label there kind of hanging out on the road. That's where System 5 ends, which you guys had already approved with a letter of permission. So that's where that ends. There's a little bit of water that makes its way down this way. And the first structure would be almost all the way at the corner, and that's really kind of unacceptable to.
Yeah, and you don't have a SWIP on this, do you? You don't need it. You're
No.
not disturbing 5,000 square feet.
There is, so I just, make sure I understand here. Between the existing DI, so existing DI and DI 6A, all the way back to DI 6C, that's all new pipe and all new structures, correct?
Yeah, it's new pipe and new
And there's
structure.
no existing pipe or structures there currently?
There is not.
And then between DI 6 and DI 7A, that is all new pipe where there is not existing pipe, correct?
Correct, because the pipe turns the corner and goes under the
Right,
paper
sure,
residence.
I understood that. And then between DI 7A all the way to DI 7C, that's all also new pipe where there is not currently existing pipe, correct?
Correct.
So this is not maintenance. I mean, this is a ton of new pipe.
This is
In places
consistent
where there
with,
is
this is
not currently
consistent,
pipe.
Consistent with
this is
the
consistent
last
with all the other
application.
projects we've done.
We're not putting, you're not putting, it's road work. It's not, this is not a wetlands permit, okay? This is just maintenance. They're gonna, I'm not, you know, they're just gonna dig a trench, drop the pipe, gravel it up, pave it over, call it a day. They're not digging any wetlands except for this one area here, which is gonna have to have silt fence around it as you dig.
Yeah, we have silt, we showed silt fence working our way
I
up through the yard.
understand. You
Yep.
have silt fence. I mean, this is the only area that we're working that's really in the wetlands. The other area is within,
Yeah,
outside the buffer.
It's all in the, it's all in the existing road, which is out of the
It's
buffer.
all in the, and it's not, and it's impervious condition, so.
Right.
My
And the-
opinion is, it's not a wetlands permit, we're giving him a letter of maintenance, he's gonna take care of it. The only thing that really affects, the 100-foot mark is where, the,
Equipment.
The paper residence digging the pipe out to the lake.
is what?
Is this section of pipe
Right, so
between?
this is the 100-foot buffer, this line here?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Okay, so they're outside the buffer, so,
Hold on, though, they're taking water, a lot more water than had been
it
previously
still
dumping
would
into
have
the
gone
lake.
down to the lake anyway.
But it's running over ground. It's seeping into the ground. This is taking it straight
No,
from.
it's running over the ground.
Yeah.
Creating erosion on the ground. And what they're doing is they're taking it out of the road, and if you look at the catch basins that they're using, they're gonna catch the sediment and the snout and debris and the grease. They have a deep sump, and that's a grease trap, right in there?
No, it's a deep sump catch basin with a hood on it, right?
Snout
So it's
hood.
consistent with what you've requested in the past.
Yeah.
As, at the terminal structure where we bring all the water to it, we've got a hood to capture floatables, keep the floatables from going in the lake, and it's got a deep sump for sediment deposition.
What's the maintenance plan on that? Like, how often, is that gonna be
The-
maintained by the condominiums?
The point cleans their catch basins twice a year,
Got it.
right? So right now, we have small structures that are incapable of collecting the water. We have pipe that's collapsed and eroding inside of the pipe because there is no pipe. You know, we're putting back precast concrete structures with all of them with sumps, with pipe that's connected. And there's no, you know, right now, if the structure fills up, it just blows over land and goes down through people's yards. I mean, it's a better, the water's going to the lake
They don't even
anyway.
need to be here.
Sure they do. They're doing
They
work in
just
the
have,
buffer.
they have this area, that's the only work in the buffer that they're doing. That's it.
I'm gonna pose a rhetorical question. Is this a drainage upgrade? You don't have to answer that. It is an upgrade. I live on the point.
I'm not
Well,
arguing that.
Wait a minute, I have some information that I think the board could hear. We've had drainage issues, they've been slowly over the years, collecting enough money to improve it and to keep the sediment that just goes right into the lake, from entering the lake. So this is the way I'm looking at it. So I'm not gonna recuse myself from a vote when and if it comes up, and I'm sure it will. Full disclosure, Oh, good idea.
Told you green.
Sorry
Green
about
is
that.
good.
I thought red was don't go. Anyway, bottom line is I live on the point. I have an interest in seeing the upgrades that are done. I have no problem with the drainage because I'm at the top of a hill. So everybody else has the problem, but the bottom line is I don't have a conflict in this. I want, since it's a three-member quorum, to do any business. So I will not recuse myself from this vote when it comes up.
Thank you.
That's fair. I think, I mean, what you brought up about the sediment, right? The two things I'm weighing are erosion control versus surface contaminants making it directly into the lake. When you have surface contaminants and it's going over any sort of grass, which it sounds like a lot of it's going in driveways, but if there's any sort of vegetation, grass, dirt, you're getting some sort of filtering before it runs directly into the lake. But if it's eroding, I mean, that's a bigger problem. That's just as big of a problem as surface contaminants. So if it's helping in that respect, I think that's perfectly fine. Now, my one other concern is, like, the permit that we're granting, is it
It's a
for
letter
the,
of
I'm sorry,
maintenance.
letter of maintenance that we're granting, it's for the entire project? Or
It's
is it
just
just for?
This
Just for
section,
this
this segment.
We come back, to-
Right, I mean, I'm talking about what's in the buffer right now, right? So like, our purview, as Bobby pointed out, is within the buffer. So even though this project is gonna be adding a substantial amount of new drainage and structures on the road here, which is impervious surface, so obviously we're not adding any new, and the disturbance is 100%, well, 95% outside of the buffer, except for that small area. I think that's all right for a letter of maintenance, because the work that's being done within that buffer is on existing area, and it's upgrading a piece of pipe. But I do want to at least point out that this is a substantial increase in the amount of infrastructure that's being placed
Yeah,
here.
but what they're eliminating here, let me look at it pluses and minuses. They're eliminating this, they're adding this. So they're really not adding a lot more. They're actually reducing the number of outlets towards the lake
Correct.
with a larger pipe from this area,
Yeah.
where everything collects at one point. And you have a point that by the time this is pitched and you go through all the drainage catch basins and stuff, you're gonna catch a lot of the debris, a lot of the surface contaminants within some of these catch basins, and then it goes out to the lake in one area as opposed to two areas.
Yeah, the
And you also eliminate all the erosion
Right.
that goes down towards the lake from here. I mean, so what am I mean, theoretically, this is really only we have to approve.
Yeah.
The rest of this goes to the highway department. And does the highway department?
No.
It's a private road,
No, it's
It's a private
private.
road,
Yeah.
so,
The point
it's
has
like-
to maintain it.
right?
Also, what was pre-existing there is substandard by today's standard, and it didn't really trap anything. It was a main line into the lake, whatever was running off. So this is a major improvement. I'm very satisfied to hear that.
Right, and the projects that have been completed have been successful. You know, just seeing the condition of the lake outfalls prior to the install of the new ones and after, you know, it's, you
and
can see
that
it.
12,
That's good to hear.
the 12-inch HDP that's on Sycamore between D1 and D16, that's existing HDP or that's new?
That's existing.
Existing HDP
Yeah,
remains.
that's
It's either
existing.
new.
Yep,
So, that's all you could save?
yeah, due to elevate, you know, due to
So
elevations.
Pitches and
Due
elevations.
to pit rights, the issue there was getting the water past the front of the paper residence and getting it into a deep sump catch basin to meet, you know, the requirements that you guys have requested in the past. You know, the slope here, it actually, if you look at 7 to 6, it's actually flat / coming back uphill a little bit, which kind of forces the rest of that stuff to just be lowered. I mean, a lot of the drains around the point are very shallow. You know, when it was built 100 years ago, they were shallow and the roads have come up and it's just, you know,
Yeah, all they're gonna do is cut a 2-foot trench, dig it out, throw the pipe in.
right,
It'll be-
it's,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, they're putting a pipe in kind there, that's fine.
They're doing this project so that eventually they'll be able to pave the roads. They finally figured out that it's good to do the drainage and then do the roads.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, one last question. How many more segments are you gonna be doing?
Let's see, we've got, if we come back around Tamarack, you know, so at this point with the board, we will have finished everything up to Sycamore, up to the point. We actually did a little bit on Tamarack, and I want to say there's, we actually got an improvement at a residence here. I think there's either 3 or 4 left. So really, the point's been taking, you know, 1 to 2 a year, get them done, get them behind us. You know, when they raise enough money to repave the roads, repave the road, so.
Got it. Okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay, so do I have a motion to grant a letter of permission to the Mapac Point Owners Association, Tamarack Road, Sycamore Road, to repair the existing drainage system? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, C-Rose on
Thank you very much, guys.
Monday.
Still fence you said needed to be,
It's shown
it's
on
on
the
there,
drawing.
excellent. And, wetlands inspector is on there as well? Check it before and after?
The only thing I'm gonna ask, is just to, when you set up the erosion control, call the wetlands call the town, have them check it?
Sure, no problem.
All right?
When do you have, when are you planning on doing the work?
I'm not sure, I know the point was talking to the contractor who's done past work out there. If the weather stays 65 and sunny,
Okay.
potentially shortly. Yeah, I think they want to try to get it done before the summer last if we can. You know, past projects, the bigger ones.
A month?
Yeah, about that. The smaller ones, you
Couple.
go by 2 days later, what even happened out here, it goes that quick.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Fantastic, thanks.
Thank
Have your
you.
drawings? All right,
Take care.
take it easy. All right, so we have some meeting minutes to approve. The only one that can't vote for 9/3 is Vince Terrano, he's not here. So do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes for 9/3/20 as written? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved, okay. The next one we cannot vote on because we don't have enough people, the 10/1. So do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes for 10/1/2020 as written?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, with that being said, we have no other agenda items. And everybody have a good weekend coming up. Enjoy the week. And have a good evening. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Night.